Today we're going to talk about why your ex is posting so much on social media. Now, when I say social media, I'm not talking about something generic like Facebook. I'm talking about all social media platforms: Facebook, Snapchat, Instagram, you name it. If your ex is posting on social media, this video is meant to help you understand their state of mind. But perhaps one of the most asked questions that we get from our clients is, do I even have a chance of getting my ex back? Now, if you're sitting there and wondering that very question, I've got great news for you. On my website, www.exboyfriendrecovery.com, I put together a special quiz designed to answer that very question. Now, all you have to do if you want to take this quiz is simply look in the description link below this YouTube video and click on it. It's that easy. It will take you directly to the quiz where it will give you an approximate idea of what kind of chance you have of getting your ex back and some of the next steps you should be taking. Okay, so now that that's out of the way, let's start talking about social media. Now, oftentimes when people are trying to understand why their ex is posting on social media, the first place they turn to is their friends or family, and oftentimes their friends or family are quite cruel to them. They say things like, you shouldn't be looking at that. Why are you so obsessed about what your ex is posting? You should be moving on. Now, I don't think those are very productive answers. And while I'm not going to take a stance on whether or not you should get back with your ex in your particular situation, because really that's what we're pushing you to the quiz for, what I will help you understand is what's going on in your ex's mind as he posts on social media. So throughout this video, I'm going to be talking about four outcomes, four potential thoughts that could be running through your ex's mind to help explain his behavior. Behavior number one, they feel empty and this is their way of acting out. Now, a few videos ago, I talked about my concept of how I like to view the 5 stages of grief when it comes to breakups. Now, if you don't have time to watch the video, here's a quick summary. I believe that the 5 stages of grief are an excellent way of describing some people's behaviors after a breakup. But what I don't believe in is the order that they're currently in. I think that sometimes when it comes to breakups, we can experience all different kinds of emotions. Sometimes anger, sometimes denial, and not necessarily in that exact order. We just sort of jump around the 5 stages on how we see fit depending on the day. So it stands to reason that your ex going through all of these emotional pendulum swings would want to act out. And sometimes social media can be the perfect way for them to act out. But why would they feel this need to act out? Well, there's ultimately many different reasons, but before I describe that, it actually seamlessly leads into behavior number 2. Behavior number 2, your ex is trying to get your attention. So why would your ex be wanting to get your attention specifically? Well, think about it from their perspective for a moment. Basically, the two of you were together maybe for a long time. Usually the longer, the better to explain this point that I'm trying to make. Let's say that you and your ex were together for 2 years. That means for 2 years, he was your number 1 priority, or number 2 at least. Well, all of a sudden, when you go through a breakup, he's no longer getting that attention he used to receive. That attention from you is sort of validation. It sort of boosts up his ego. It boosts up his self-esteem, which we're going to talk about in a minute. Now, all of a sudden, when you go through this breakup, that self-esteem boost that he was getting every day from talking to you, for you calling him pet names like babe or honey, it's gone. And he's trying to find a way to get some of that back. Now, why would posting on social media do that? It's not like you're gonna sit there and say like, hey, let's get back together, or hey, you look really, really sexy. You're not gonna say that stuff. But what you can do is maybe comment on a photo or like a photo. It serves as this weird form of validation, this weird form of attention that he's gonna use to boost his self-esteem. Behavior number 3. They feel that posting on social media will boost their self-esteem. Do you like how behavior number 2 seamlessly bled into behavior number 3? So here's the thing that most people know but don't ever talk about when it comes to social media and posting on it. We only present our best selves. And this is interesting because never do you go onto someone's Facebook profile and see a picture of exactly what they look like when they wake up in the morning. You often see them at their most exciting moments. And sometimes people try to manufacture these moments as they're going throughout the day. They say, oh, you know, I probably look like a really cool person right now. I'm gonna take a selfie. They don't ever do that when they're doing something embarrassing. And that's because we always want people to look at us in a certain way. Now, the thinking here is that by presenting our best self to the world, it's going to boost our self-esteem. But perhaps the biggest paradox is, yes, it can actually boost our self-esteem, but in turn lowers our self-worth. Now, have you ever been to those Facebook profiles where you looked at maybe a cute guy or a cute girl and you thought to yourself, man, I would really like to date that person. You set up the date and then you actually see them in person and they look nothing like they looked on their Facebook profile. Well, this is because that particular person has only presented their best self to you. They don't show you the real them. So you're making a date with someone based on how you perceive them to be, and they understand that, and in turn they like it because yes, maybe they have a pretty face, but they feel overweight, so they hide that fact about themselves. They still get the self-esteem boost because they're desirable, but they also lower their self-worth because deep down they know they're hiding part of themselves away. Now, what's interesting is when you take a guy who's going through a breakup, it's not really a stretch to say that one of the biggest common side effects of a breakup is depression. They feel extremely bad about themselves. So they're going to find ways to post really awesome pictures of themselves to boost their self-esteem. But in turn, it lowers their self-worth, which often they'll blame you for. Behavior number 4, they seek validation from others. So if you really think about it, social media is all about seeking validation from others. At least that's why most people post things on social media. They want to show their friends and families what they're up to, sure, but the true reason and deep down we all know is we really like it when they like our photos or they comment on our photos or say something nice to us, and we especially like it when people idolize us. So it's not a far stretch from your ex who's gone through this breakup, who's extremely depressed and sad, to post things to seek validation not from you, but from all others. We especially see this on men who are trying to go on the rebound. They're trying to get validation from other women to make themselves feel better about the situation. And all it takes is one positive validation from a member of the opposite sex to get addicted to the feeling. They maybe get one nice comment from that pretty girl that they've always had a crush on, that you knew they had a crush on when they were dating you. And next thing you know, they're posting constantly on social media, trying to get not only more validation from a girl like her, but from all other types of girls. They're addicted to that little positive boost in self-esteem. And perhaps the most fascinating part about this concept is a lot of times they're not even aware that they're doing it. They're just sort of a slave to their emotions or the chemicals being released by their brains. They just get that little boost, and that's all they want from that point on. So it's important for you to kind of read between the lines and try to understand what's really going on. Most of the time, the big picture thing that I want you to take from this video is that when your ex is posting constantly on social media, it is usually a result of the breakup. The cause and effect is there. It's not always that they want you back, but they're in extreme pain from the breakup. And oftentimes, the best way to sort of deal with that pain is to hop into social media, even if it's not the most healthy route. Hey, thank you so much for making it to the end of this video. Again, if you haven't already, make sure you stop everything you're doing and take our Ex Recovery Chances quiz. It's a simple 2-minute quiz designed to tell you what kind of chance you have of getting your ex back, and all you gotta do to take it is just simply look in the description link below this YouTube video and click on it. Also, if you haven't liked or subscribed to this channel, please do so. We love people like you who do that. We want that validation. Oh yes, and don't forget to comment. We love hearing comments from you. I'll see you guys next time.